Hi kids, welcome to Draw Ninja Casey's Kids Art class. Today we're drawing Lincoln Loud from Loud House, so let's get started. When drawing this particular character, the oval is going to play an important part because his head is an oval. An oval is just a long circle or a stretched circle. So we're going to start with his head as an oval. So basically an oval is like an egg. And which is very important because his ears are ovals, his eyes are ovals, even his shoes are ovals. So although he may look a little hard to draw, he's not. He's just basically ovals. So as usual, we're drawing with a pencil so that when we do make a mistake, it's easy for us to erase the mistake. And that way, before we make all the lines permanently black with marker, we can erase all our mistakes and just leave all the correct lines that we need. Because we're gonna go over the lines with marker so that we'll be able to make nice sharp copies if we want to. Again, his ears are also ovals, so we're gonna start with putting the ovals attached to his head, and then within his ears we'll put like a number 5. And his other ear, since it's on the other side, we'll put like a backwards number 5. Now in the middle of his head, we're going to draw a light line. It's just a very light line so that we can remember where his body's going to go. So his body's going to go straight down. So that just gives us a guideline. Then we're going to draw the side of his hair, or his hair at the side, which is like a W. And then we're going to draw his hair at the top, which is like a really stretched W, where one side of the W is short and then the other side is really long all the way to the head. Then above that, we're going to put 2 lines, 2 curved lines, and above those curved lines, we're going to put his eyelashes that apparently you can see through his hair. And then on the other side, we'll put the other side of his hair, which is, again, we're going into that little W that kind of just lays against the side of his head. And at the top of his head, we're going to put a little M. An M and an N, we could say. Or it looks like a little flower, I think, right? Or a cactus at the top of his head. And then just 2 little strands of hair on the other side, just like that. And then under the left eyebrow, we're gonna just go back into the ovals and just put his left eye right there. His left eye as you're looking at it. But we're gonna leave the bottom a little bit open because we have to put his nose. So we're gonna put left eye, but with the bottom a little open like that. And then with the other eye, we leave the bottom a little open as well. And then we'll put like a arch upward and then downward, and that'll make up his nose. And that's why we were leaving the bottom open, so we can make space for his nose. And then we'll color in his pupils, which is like little ovals, dark ovals. And then the side of his eyes, we'll put a little wrinkle. And under his nose, we're gonna put a little smile. It goes from one side of the face to like under the right eye. And then we'll put in his teeth, which is basically a W under the smile. And on the left side of the smile, Lincoln has 3 freckles, so we'll put those in on each side. And that's looking like our Lincoln Loud. Now to start on the body, Lincoln always wears this orange shirt. So we'll start with the shirt, which is basically just a rectangle with a collar. And the collar is basically from his face. The collar is like a two V's next to each other, two letter V's, and in the middle of that there's another rectangle. So two V's with a rectangle, so he's wearing like a polo shirt. And then his sleeves turn out to be like little arches. Like the top of his sleeve is an arch, and then you make a line down and make an exact copy under that arch. So it's basically two arches going in the same direction that connect at the end with a line. Again, always great to start with pencils before we go in with a black marker, so that if we do make mistakes, we can correct them. Because if we made a mistake with the marker, we wouldn't be able to correct it because the marker is permanent. So we'll leave his hands out of there for a second, and we're going to start on his pants. So his pants will basically be 4 lines next to each other, going downward. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. Oh, that's 3. And then that's 4. And like with the sleeves of a shirt, you connect them where they meet at the end with another line. Just like that. And his shoes, like I said before, they're ovals. So we'll draw one of his shoes facing to the side. One of his sneakers with an oval. It looks like a football, like a really skinny football. And then we'll bring the other foot facing a little bit to the front, another oval, another skinny football. Then we'll go back in with the arm. Again, same thing with the sleeves, only a little thinner. The arm is an oval. It comes around, turns into his hand, and then we'll just put like a fist, just like that, and his knuckles in there, just resting against his shirt. And do the same exact thing with the other side, just oval going around, thumb, and then his hand resting on his body. Then we do a little tiny cartoony fist on the side, and then bring the oval right back up to the sleeve. And duplicate the top oval and bring it down to meet the hand. Little correcting there. And then you're good to go. Always important to do these things with pencils first, because much better to make mistakes with pencils than with marker. Harder to correct mistakes with marker. Easier to correct them with pencils. So now we're gonna put some of the detail on his shoes, which would be his laces. He wears these shoes that have red lines in them. I think probably Pumas. They're probably Pumas. Yeah, that's it. Puma sneakers have the red lines on them. But these little boxes that have that indicate that, I guess, they're shoelaces. And then we'll put the soles of his shoes, very tiny, under, or at least the line for the soles of his shoes are on top of the line for the shoe. So we're pretty much done with all the basic line work for Lincoln. That looks like a really nice Lincoln right there. So now, so that we can color it and make it look all nice and good, we're gonna start going over the pencils with a black Sharpie It could be black color pencil, whatever you choose, just something to make it better, to make the lines sharper. Because now that you've corrected any mistakes that you've possibly could have made with the pencils, you make sure that you have all the lines that you need and all the things, the right sizes, going in the right direction. Now you can go over with the marker exactly the lines that you made, because now you know there won't be any mistakes, because any mistakes that you've already made you would have erased when you did it in the pencil. So we're gonna go over the lines. Start with his head. As you can see, it's looking a lot better because now the lines are sharp and they're black, and now you can do so many things with this drawing because the lines are black lines as opposed to pencil lines. You can make copies of it, send it to your friends so that they can color it. You can do so many things with it. Or you can just leave it like that and color it yourself and keep it for yourself. Either way. This is the easy, fun part of drawing any of the characters. It's once you've drawn the actual character with the pencil, basically everything else now is just tracing and coloring. So this is the fun part. Now we're just tracing all the lines on the hair. Being careful not to swerve off the lines. His collar, his buttons on the shirt. His hands right here. It's also very important that when you are tracing in black that you find a marker that's just a regular size marker. You don't want to trace the lines with a marker that's too big because the lines will be too thick. And then when you want to do things like his fingers, then it's just going to be one big black blob. So it's very important to get thin markers, or what they call fine nibs, to trace over the lines. Or if you have color pencil, if you're tracing it with black color pencil, those are fine because you could just sharpen those and that'll be perfect. Now doing the details on his shoes, including the sole of his shoes and also those little squares that are his shoelaces. Wow, that's looking pretty good, right? Now that you've blackened all the lines, it's time to erase any additional pencils that you may have left on the drawing, so that if you want to copy it, you don't have to worry about the grainy looking pencils that might be left, or pencil marks that might be left on the drawing. So you take your pencil and your eraser and just erase any additional pencils that might have been left over, making it nice and sharp. Now at this point, you can make copies of the drawing, maybe send out to your friends, or make copies for yourself to color it in different colors or whatever. Or you can just continue on with the drawing and just color it yourself and make it just a one-time masterpiece. So we're going to start with Lincoln's face, and I'm going to color it with a color pencil. I'm going to mix it up with this one. I have a color pencil that's the perfect color, so I'm going to start his face with the color pencil, starting with his ears on both sides of his face. Now, when you're coloring in your drawing, it's very important that you make sure that you don't leave any white spots, and that's why it's very important to take your time, go slowly, and color in all the areas that you need to color in, because if you miss a spot, it really looks incomplete on your drawing and it makes your drawing look so grainy. So you don't want any white spots peeking through the color. So very important, don't rush the coloring, take your time and do it right so that when you are finished coloring, your drawing looks as awesome as it could possibly look and you could be very happy with it. So that's why I'm coloring line on top of line, where I'm coloring one line and then just kind of not lifting the pencil off until a nice patch is colored, making sure all the areas are covered, no white peeking through. Going around the face very carefully, making sure that I'm not leaving any areas uncolored. And that's what you have to do to make it look really, really finished. One very important fact also is that if you're coloring with color pencils or with crayons, it's okay to not color over the black lines because it may fade the black lines a little bit. So it's okay sometimes to just maybe touch the black lines with the color a little bit, but you don't have to color over them. You can color over them if you want. It really would still look awesome, but if you want to maintain the rich blackness of the line, you can just kind of color around the lines, but be careful not to leave any white spots around the lines. Again, it would make the drawing look a little grainy and a little incomplete, and you don't want your drawing looking like that. So that's a very important thing to remember about drawing line drawings like this. We're gonna go to his arms. Since I have the skin color pencil out, we're just gonna do his arms and everything that's the same color, do that all at once. I would love to see how you guys did with this video, how your drawing came out. Please upload your drawings to my Reddit art community. It's Draw Ninja Casey Submissions on Reddit. I would love to see how your drawings of Lincoln came out, and it's a chance for you to get mentioned and get a shout out on a later video. So get those drawings up there. I would love to see what they look like. So now I'm going to go in and do his shirt, which is orange. And I'm going to do that with a marker. You could do it with a marker too if you want, or with a color pencil, or with a crayon, whichever you choose to do. Again, it's very important to make sure that you cover the entire area of the part that you're coloring. This way there is no white sticking out. A great way to do that is to not just squiggly color, is what I call it, squiggly color the lines. Just squiggly coloring everywhere. It's hard to close the lines when you're chaotically coloring. So the way I do it is just do it one line at a time. This way, even if I miss a spot, it's just one line to cover it. Now I'm going to start on his pants. And with darker colors, it's easier to see if you miss a spot. Because of the difference between light and dark, it's easier to see any white spots that you may have missed on the paper. But with the lighter colors, you have to kind of look a little harder, but make sure that you cover all the white spots. Finish up his pants and piece de resistance are those 3 lines on each of his Adidas shoes. Those 3 red lines. And basically that's the finished Lincoln Loud. Thank you so much for drawing with me. If you did like this video, please like and give it a thumbs up. And if this is your first time here, please subscribe. I would really appreciate that. Don't forget to send your drawing to my Reddit account, which is Draw Ninja Casey Submissions, and for a chance to get a shout out. This has been a lot of fun, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.